Hey everyone, I am presenting on mictlantecuhtli from the House of the Eagles, and this is a picture of my statue, but we'll get back to him in a little bit. First we're going to talk about the setting where it was placed. It was in the House of the Eagles, right next to El Temple Mayor in Teotihuacan, Mexico. The House of the Eagles was a place for eagle warriors to come and make sacrifices and rituals to the god mictlantecuhtli. There were two types of warriors at the time. There were the jaguar warriors and the eagle warriors. So this is the inside of the building. There were benches around. It's a pretty small space, but it's a medium-sized space for medium-sized ceremonies. Enough for a large gathering, but not the pyramids that we see or large plazas or anything like that. The vertical faces on the benches depict religious processions of armed warriors that converged in a zaklapololi ball of hay, which worshippers stuck bloody bone knives in during the ritual of self-sacrifice. That is according to National de Antropologia y Historia, a textbook type source. Here's a close-up of the processions. You can see all the adornment, and yeah. And there's a picture of the actual Zakatopoyoli. Zakatopoyoli. I apologize for my pronunciation on that one. And here's another image of it. These processions were once in color, but of course have faded. So there were two different types of statues found in this building. Statues of the eagle warriors themselves, and you can tell that because of their eagleness. And then the statue of our god mictlantecuhtli. He's the god of the underworld. He's a wife. He was created by some other gods. Some of the other gods, his origin story is quite interesting. If you have the chance to read that. So it was thought that you would meet mictlantecuhtli after a 4-year-long journey through the 9 stages of Mictlan, which is the underworld, where you would meet Mictlan, where he would decide whether you were put back into further despair or if you were allowed to finally rest, and that was according to Baker Jordan. I like this picture better, actually. So the holes in his head were once used for a headdress. It would have been decorated with owl feathers and paper banners. He also wore a necklace of human eyeballs, and he wore ear spools, which were made from human bones. And that's according to Baha Studies. Another fact about him was he was the only one of a few deities who had ever been allowed to govern all different types of the soul. So the Aztecs believed that you had 3 different souls. You had a soul in your brain, a soul in your heart, and a soul in your liver, which is displayed here, hanging out of the emaciated body of mictlantecuhtli. So his liver is hanging out of his ribs, showing his 3rd soul. and he was the only god allowed, or one of the only gods, to have control over all of these different types of soul. And you were also categorized into 3 different types of soul. If you had died of normal deaths, that was one type. Then heroic deaths, battle or sacrifice, childbirth, and then non-heroic deaths. So Smart History likes to point out that he's very intimidating and emaciated. He's not fleshed in the mouth. He's missing his lips. He has clawed hands. He's somebody you would expect to meet after 4 years being dead. His head and hands are larger than life, making him more exaggerated and more cartoonish. And let's get some dates in here. The statue was discovered in Mexico City in 1994 by archaeologist Leonardo Lopez Lujan. That's according to Baker Jordan. And the sculpture itself was built somewhere around 1400 to 1521. He's approximately 5 or 6 feet tall. Oh, and of course, the most important part of this all was he was coated in human blood. So the Eagle Warriors would perform bloodletting and splatter him in blood. The sculpture was found with a thick layer of blood all over it, and the ceremonies were able to be kind of mapped out by blood mapping of sorts. So we are given a pretty clear idea of how these ceremonies would have gone because of the samples of the floor that we have. So the statue was removed from the House of the Eagles and is kept in the National Museum. And here are all my sources.